Harihi Om to everyone else. Western scholars often think that Brahman is either a dogma of the Hindu theologians or the private experience of the Vedantic mystics, and that it can never be proved by the rational and experimental methods of philosophy. Vedantins, on the other hand, contended that Brahman is neither a dogma of religion nor a private mystical experience, but a metaphysical truth based upon universal reason and experience. Vedanta is a systematic philosophy and aims at the demonstration of ultimate reality with as much reason as can possibly be brought to the understanding of the problems of transcendental truth. I think the students of Vedanta often realize that except Vedanta, the solution, the ultimate solution of life is not possible. Who are really thinker,
Sound नहीं आ रहा है ठीक से.
they often can think that it is not possible. So a careful study of Vedanta will reveal that it not only makes a room for many conflicting opinions of intellectual philosophers, but also dares to indicate their ultimate synthesis. Vedanta is the foundation of spiritual culture of India. It has kept especially Hindu society alive for the past 7,000 years. Means, according to the Western historian, they think that the Hindu culture is for 7,000 years. Yes, we acknowledge it, we appreciate it, though we believe that Sanatan Dharma is eternal. In every creation, Veda was there, so followers of Vedas also were there. But it's a matter of thinking, matter of faith. But now we are very much based on Western research, Western thinking. So Western scientists, they came to a conclusion, though there are a lot of conflicts among themselves internally, yet we appreciate that yes, we have the culture of 7,000 years. Okay. Vedanta is the philosophy of all the important religious sects and groups. In its various phases, Vedanta represents the progressive thought of man beginning with dualism, Dvaitavad, passing through qualified non-dualism, Vishishta Advaitavad, and ending in absolute non-dualism, Shuddha Advaita, Shuddhadvaita. The doctrine of the total identity of the subject and object, beyond which human reason, thought, and experience cannot go. Avang Manashagocharam. The subject matter of Veda is beyond our thought, beyond our speech, beyond our experience. It's only knowledge. It is I myself. Truth is such a state where neither the Veda can reach, nor the Bible, nor the Quran. The conclusion of the non-dualistic philosophy are epitomized in four statements. The importance of which is felt as keenly today as when they were first revealed to the ancient Indo-Aryan seers living on the bank of Indus and the Ganga. They are namely, first one, the divinity of the soul, the unity of existence, the oneness of the Godhead, and the harmony of religions. Even soul is divine. Every soul is divine, potentially divine, each and every soul. Though during the state of ignorance, it remains obvious of its spiritual nature. While living in the nature, the relative world, it assumes various bodies and identities itself with them. It is then regarded as a finite creature, but in the heart of every individual, the divine light shines with undiminished luster. Hence, all men and women are entitled to our respect. The divinity of the soul is the unshakable spiritual basis of democracy, self-determination, freedom, and other aspirations of modern minds. Even a noble human ideal, when guided only by expediency, can be an instrument of oppression and exploitation. The unity of existence is the foundation of all ethical codes. Properly understood, it widens the bounds of charity beyond humanity to include the animal world as well. Self-love is the mainspring of man's action and the love for others. We learn from non-dualistic Vedanta that the true self of man or woman is the self of all beings. Therefore, self-love finds its expressions and fulfillment in love for all. The golden rule of Christianity can be rationally understood and appreciated only when it is realized that by hurting others, one really hurts oneself, and conversely, that by making others happy, one brings happiness to oneself. Without consciousness of the unity of existence, ethics becomes mere device for makeshift adjustments among conflicting interests. And when these interests are at any time seriously threatened, the ethical codes break down. Without a spiritual sanction, justice is in the interest of the strong. The oneness of the Godhead is well emphasized in the statement of Veda. Ekam sat vipra vahudha vadanti. Truth is one, but the sages call it by various names. Why? According to their mental mindset. And they were all teachers. They knew how the truth should be expressed to the students, how their mental makeup is, how they can easily understand the nature of Brahman, the nature of truth. When anything comes, a lot of vegetables are there, and suppose a mom is having many children, mom knows whose appetite is how much, whose digestion power is how much. According to that, the mom serves, prepares and serves the food. Likewise, the same truth has been served to us in a different way, keeping in mind about the mind setup, about the readiness of us to accept the truth. These various names honored and worshipped by the various religions are but symbols which enable infinite minds to grasp the infinite. The deities they designated are so many facts of the ineffable reality which is one. What is needed is steadfast loyalty to one's own ideal and positive respect, not mere toleration for the ideals of the others. Religion is not the goal, but only a path by means of which the aspirant attains ultimate perfection. Different religions are necessary to suit different minds at varying levels of evolution. All religions are working for the good of the mankind. Each religion takes up, as it were, one part of the great universal truth and spends its whole force in embodying and typifying it. The much sought for universal religion has always been in existence. It runs through all the various religions in the form of God consciousness, which is the foundation of them all. Truth is the thread that holds together the pearls of the different faiths. Therefore, religion should emphasize harmony and not dissension, unity and not discord, love and not hate, friendship, friendship and not enmity. Atma Bodha or self-knowledge suggests its perennial interest and universal value. Self-knowledge is vital. Atma bodh, Atma ki bodh is vital. All other forms of knowledge are of secondary importance. For a man's or woman's action, feeling, reasoning, and thinking are dependent upon his or her idea of the self. His or her view of life will be either materialistic or spiritual according to his or her conception of himself or herself. If he or she regards himself or herself as a physical creature, and his or her soul, provided that he or she believes in such a thing, as subservient to material aims, then he or she is a materialist. He follows the ideal of material happiness, devoting himself to the attainment of power and the enjoyment of material pleasures. Whenever a large number of people follow such an ideal, society becomes materialistic and there ensure bloodshed, war, and destruction. If, on the other hand, a man regards himself as a spiritual entity and believes that his material body should be utilized to serve a spiritual end, then he is a spiritual. He follows the path of unselfishness, consecration, and love, and thus becomes a force to promote peace and happiness for all. Therefore, it behoves everyone to cultivate self-knowledge at all times. Self-knowledge serves the practical purpose of destroying pain and suffering, which are always caused by ignorance of the self. Ajnanena krito bandha vicharena tu nivartate. अज्ञान जहां पर प्रॉब्लम है, ज्ञानम is the solution. अंधेरा जहां पर प्रॉब्लम है, light is the solution. Hunger wherever is the problem, food is the solution. Thirst wherever the problem, water is the solution. And the root cause of our misery our pain and our temporary pleasure is nothing but the ignorance of ourself. First, we misunderstand ourselves, then the misunderstanding starts for the entire world. Entire world. All the relationship with the person, with the object, with the nature, we misunderstand, we create attachment, and we invite pain, eternal pain. And it continues life after life after life after life. When by the grace of Guru we can understand, we can know that supreme truth, which is depicted in the Vedas or in the various Shastras, then all conflict goes. We become peaceful, blissful. We live in total mental tranquility. And also the positive end of helping everyone enjoy supreme peace and blessedness here and always. And that is Jivan Mukti, liberated while living.